Welcome to Stuttgart. Please keep your seatbelts fastened until the seatbelt sign has been switched off.
Η Στουτγκάρδη, η πρωτεύουσα του ομόσπονδου κρατιδίου της Βάδης-Βυρτεμβέργης στη νότια Γερμανία, εκτός από μια πανέμορφη πόλη, είναι και έδρα μεγάλων βιομηχανικών επιχειρήσεων όπως η Daimler, η Porsche, η Bosch και η Mercedes-Benz. Εκεί βρίσκεται και η έδρα του ομίλου DAT, μιας γερμανικής εταιρείας που παρέχει λογισμικό, υπηρεσίες και δεδομένα και επίσης οτιδήποτε έχει να κάνει με τον κύκλο ζωής ενός αυτοκινήτου, στη βιομηχανία αυτοκινήτου αλλά και στις ασφαλιστικές εταιρείες. Έτσι, μπορεί να βοηθήσει και την ελληνική ασφαλιστική αγορά να ξεφύγει από τα τευτέρια και να αυτοματοποιήσει διαδικασίες εκτίμησης και επανεκτίμησης στον κλάδο αυτοκινήτου, μειώνοντας σημαντικά τα κόστη. Εκεί συναντήσαμε και τον κύριο Helmut Eifert, Διευθύνων Σύμβουλο για Ξένες Χώρες, όπου μας μίλησε για τον όμιλο DAT.
We are here now in Stuttgart at the headquarters of the DAT Group, and first of all, thank you for your time. And before we start, I would like to hear from you a little bit about the group, what exactly you're doing and what exactly is the DAT Group all about.
The perfect question as an entry question. Well, of course, we provide software, services and data, and all these software, services and data deal with anything that has to do with a car's life cycle. So from the beginning of a car, when you launch a new car, we provide data for the manufacturers, for instance, to already predict and forecast the residual value of this car that once it hits the market. So it's a very, very early stage. And then it goes over to the area where a car will be later on sold. So we have information on sale prices, to build used car prices or give market information about the value of a car. And then one of the next phases is a car has a damage, will be repaired, has some service things to do, and we provide again data and software for the industry to help handle this process, namely repair estimates, workflow management, communication management, everything around to handle a service, maintenance or repair case, and to handle this case in between parties. So not just for an individual workshop, but also if the workshop is forced to communicate to whatever, his insurance, his fleet company or management company, so that he can send around the repair information to the others and they see informations and do approvals, so that the workflow will be highly digitized and automated in between these parties. So in a nutshell, that's what we're dealing with.
Okay, how many, you're not doing that in Germany only, I know. In how many countries do you do that?
Well, meanwhile, we are in 18 countries. Of course, Germany is the biggest one, lion's share. We have 80% of our group's revenue coming from Germany, that's clear. But meanwhile, 20% from the outside of Germany markets, as we name it, so the international markets. We have even started business in Asia, in China, 2 years ago, where we have some orders and working with the insurance industry and manufacturers. It's always the same customership, so to say. It's manufacturers, it's insurances, it's bank, finance and lease companies, as well as it is the dealers for manufacturers and repair shops and repair networks. And not to forget assessors or experts, as we say.
So this can be useful in the insurance market, I guess.
Yes, of course.
How much involved you are here in Germany? Let's start.
Well, in terms of insurance market or in entire market?
Yes, insurance market.
Well, in Germany is kind of an island, because in Germany we are the market leader. We have almost 65% market share. And that is spread and breaking down by the manufacturer and its retailerships, as well as the dealerships, as well as the finance industry, as we say. And the insurance industry belongs to the finance industry. So the leading insurances here in Germany are all dealing with the DAT calculation. So if you have a claim and a damage and your insurance needs to settle it, or your repair shop needs to settle it, they usually work with DAT products. And they means the repair shop enters in the claim, gets in the repair estimate and sends all these data to the insurances. For sending this information to the insurances, they most likely use our products. This product name is SilverDat. SilverDat product consists the estimating software and as well as the communication system to send these claims back and forth. On the insurance side work with our network where we have all the claims disseminating around and automated approvals, and the insurance get the information, send it back to the workflow more or less, and you get as a repair shop the approval from the insurance that you can begin with your repair. In a nutshell, that's the business process. So Germany is a bit, I would say even dominated by the DAT software. We can really be proud of it. We don't rest on our laurels, that's clear, but it's really a good dominating market for us worldwide.
Okay, so apart from the insurance market, what else do you do? You work in the automotive industry, correct?
Yeah.
Do you provide them with how exactly it works?
I need to get back to the products again in a way, because what I have just explained was about the service, maintenance and repair area. But of course a big lion's share of our business is for valuation. Big insurances, but most importantly bank companies or fleet companies, they have to know what worth is the car park they have in their books. So they need to do constantly valuation of these cars. So we provide the data so they know they can rely on the DAT data. They know if DAT says this whatever car costs you 10,000, 15,000 euros currently, it's a very reliable number. We are in a way the authority to provide these data to the industry. So the insurances and of course the insurances know the value for their underwriting contracts, but the finance industry relies on the data they get from DAT on residual values for cars. And so does the manufacturer with its dealerships, for instance. If you are my, let's say, BMW or Mercedes dealer, and I'm the manufacturer, if you have a lease car and you get it back after 2 or 3 years, we both have an agreement that this car has a certain value after that time. And this value is a DAT value. So we both agree if it's lower or higher than the DAT amount, you have the guarantee from the manufacturer that you get this money paid from the market at that time. Your car will be worth that value. And that's kind of a, how to say, I would say even a standardization of the market. So we help the industry to make business. So you can be reliable as a manufacturer, we can both have an agreement, you can rely on me. So we both know, okay, this car is so good that it has this certain value after a certain period of time. And this value is the DAT value. So it's like the benchmark for the industry, the standard for the industry.
Okay, now some people say that if you buy an X car at this value, if you want to buy the same car by spare parts and make it yourself, let's say, it will cost you 3 times more. So yeah, you know, you're dealing with all these spare parts and everything. Is this making any conflicts in your work with the insurance company, let's say?
The question is goes into a totally different direction, I would say, because it has nothing really to do with residual value. That goes back to the area of service, maintenance and repair. And it's clear if you repair a car or build it from scratch, it's a difference in terms of pricing, sourcing and everything. I mean, there's a justified reason why spare parts, after-sales parts are expensive and cost some money. So we're dealing with it, and inside of our software, if you do a repair, you know what spare parts are needed for that specific repair. But I guess you're referring to a situation where in some markets, and I think Greece is one of it, I think to my knowledge 50% of the claims are usually fixed and repaired with non-original spare parts. So, and that is in a way it's an edgy thing, because the insurances also should go after high quality, because they do not benefit from a bad repair, that's pretty clear. And a bad repair usually goes with not only bad repair work, but also with spare parts. So there's a reason why it makes sense that for younger cars, they should not use these aftermarket spare parts, that's clear. However, we are facing this situation, and also our clients are facing the situations that they sometimes have to possibly optimize a certain calculation. So if I was a manufacturer, an OEM, and you my customer, my repair shop, I would even offer you a certain special price for my original spare parts, and we find an arrangement under certain criteria. The thing is, from our perspective, that you provide or we provide software and content that our customership can handle both situations either way. So we leave it up to them when they want to handle this in just the sheer or the genuine spare parts market or supply, or one they want to use an eco part, for instance. The software can do and help handle both.
Mm-hmm. So now let's come to Greece, and I would like to ask you, what is the level of your cooperation with the insurance market in Greece at this time?
Well, I would say a very good one. As you know much better than I do, the insurance market in Greece, when it comes to service or claims handling, let's put it that way, is still very, I would say, diverse. There are some insurances, and I think 28 or 30 insurances are the key things here, the big numbers. Some of them, they're not even using any system to do some calculation. And then part of it, I guess more or less half of it, 15, 16, are working currently with a system. And of these that currently work with the system, we have 75% as our customers. So I think we can really proudly say we have a very good market share amongst the insurances in Greece. And we are working, trying to convince those insurances that do not yet work with the system. You have the situation still that people are doing it manually. It has some reason, but of course, if you want to have some savings, provide transparency, time to market, reliability, then you better do it with the system. And of course, the best is you do it with our system, because we provide the software, both the content and the services, but also the digitization tools to get all these claims digitized, so no one works with paper anymore. And I think that's still a very interesting situation in Greece. And based on the successes we've had in the past with our insurances, we are ready to convince the rest of the insurance to use our software.
Well, you came to my next question, which is what is the benefit of an insurance company, and finally to the consumer by your work in Greece?
Well, it's easy. I mean, if you compare, you are the best model. Everything is digital now. There's no paper, just my notes, the agenda for today. But if you can just compare manual work, control on paperwork, control and maybe some people's knowledge that is inside of a person, opposed to a situation where everything is digital. Sorry, and not only the calculation, but also the workflow and the files. So that is a big potential for savings. That is a big potential for speeds to market, and implicitly also again savings. And for customers, it's much more reliable and transparent and even credible if you work with systems. So I would rather prefer an insurance, me as a user, where I know if they're working with modern tools, because then I know I do not pay costs for overhead. And I can rely if there's a process, if there's a damage, I can rely I will be treated fairly. I think that's a big benefit we can provide with our products, of course, provided the customer uses and does all the digitization that is needed.
Now, speaking from digital and technology, there is dramatic changes every day in our lives. How these changes, from your experience, your knowledge and your reports, because we know you have a special department doing reports about this, how is this affecting the next day of insurance, let's say, if you can tell me a little bit about it? We know that in the future probably some cars will be self-driven. We have no drivers, or the technology will be the next thing in cars as well, in driving a car.
So we now imagine Athens with just autonomous driving.
Let's say.
No scratches, no parking damages, no whatever person that does not get along with the car. Well, it's of course there's of course a big trend and tendency. That's clear that all these cars that's a better, safer driving in the future. That's clear. So less damages. However, as these cars are much more expensive because they're using assistance systems, whatever sensors, any damage that will occur costs much more money. So maybe less traffic, less harder damages, but for sure still the same things, or at least a significant amount of damages that are the butter and bread business to most of the repair shops, namely scratches, light damages, body chassis damage, body damages. But the severe ones for sure will go down. That's clear. But once there are damages, it gets much more expensive to repair a car, and that's also important for the repair shops, because the level of education and quality has to raise. It has to be on a very high level. Otherwise, you're not able to repair these modern cars at all. But I think it just takes a while, and if you really focus then on Greece market, you have I think more than 4 million cars currently car park. It takes a while until these cars hit your market to a greater extent, so that it has a great impact on all the parties.
Do you see any horizon on this, like in 10 years from now?
Oh, I would say even for Greece, I would even think about 15 up to 20 years at least, minimum. And then you have to have the infrastructure around, data infrastructure, everything needs to be there. But I think in these in countries that do focus and do push these topics, and of course also then the cities. I mean, now just recently the new election in Stuttgart, people want to make Stuttgart the most attractive city for mobility. So this will be changing in the next 10 years, 10 maximum 15 years. And then you have different infrastructures inside of the cities. That allows you, and then paves the way, so to say, to have this autonomous driving inside of the cities. So that for sure going to change then some landscape in this area. But I think 10 years would be a good mark on average, and it depends on the different countries.
Okay. Now, being a Greek and being in Germany, I cannot ask this question and say, how do you see the situation in Greece? We have this crisis, and this is affecting the wallet, let's say, of every person in Greece. So some people probably they prefer not to fix their cars and drive around with scratches and everything. Is this affecting your business?
Well, it did, but it was already some years ago. I mean, the crisis is not just didn't come overnight. It's here since quite a while. So it had a great impact. When was it? I think 2 years, 3 years ago. When in Athens, you saw and noticed that the traffic broke down more or less. There was, much better time, shorter time to get to the office. That's clear. But that was already done. That is already incorporated into anything. We even see some slight increases, a bit more damages. The car park still has a growth rate, so it's of course a bit shrinking compared to the 5 years ago, but it's still in a good situation, and I think it has balanced meanwhile. It found a good level, because people, if they have some money and have a good nice car, they want to repair it, and of course if people do not have money, then they do not now repair it, or maybe do it in a different repair shop. I think there's no more further impact to be expected as of now, in my opinion.
Okay, so investing in Greece is a good idea at this period?
Investing in Greece?
Yes.
At least for us it was, yes. Clear,
okay.
Clear. We were a bit forced because we had some bad experience with the existing partner, so we've decided to found our own company, the DAT Greece company. We've hired people, it's a small team, 5 people meanwhile, serving more than 200 customers currently, as I said earlier, pretty successful, I would say. But for us it really worked out and played out, and we they're all on plan. I asked them this morning again to be 100% sure. So I think it is a good situation for us. Would it be the same for others? I don't know.
Do you have any message for the people working in the insurance sector in Greece?
Yeah, try to digitize your processes much more. I mean, just half of the insurances that work with systems. So imagine what could be done in terms of savings, optimization, not to set people free, definitely not, but I mean, you can do different, you can serve your customer better, would be much better. So if you have digitized processes, it helps you to be empowered and able to serve your customer as best as possible. And that's everywhere it's needed to improve your customer focus, I would say.
Right. Well, Helmut, thank you very much for your time, and I hope to see you soon in Greece.
We see you soon. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.